Om Shanti. This is Sakar Murli of 4th December 2023. Essence. Sweet children, you have received an easy mantra from the Sadguru to discipline your minds. Remain in silence and constantly remember me alone. This is a great mantra that will control Maya. Question. How is Shiv Baba the most innocent customer? Answer. Baba says, children, I take all the old rubbish you have, including your bodies, and I take that when you are about to die. Your white dresses is also a sin of death. You now sacrifice yourself to the Father. The Father then makes you prosperous for 21 births. The Father fulfills everyone's desire on the path of devotion. Then on the path of knowledge, He is giving the knowledge of the beginning, the middle and end of the world and make your Trikaldarshi too. Song. No one is unique like the innocent Lord. Om Shanti. You children are sitting in front of the innocent Lord. Businessman says, send me a simpleton, an innocent customer who will buy goods worth 1 and 2,000 and give you a lot of money. O God, send me such a customer. The Father, the innocent Lord, explained to you children the beginning, middle and end of the world and make you Trikaldarshi. Could you ever find such a customer as me? You surrender yourself to Him. You sense a lot of price on the place of the devotion. The price of innocent Lord is you are the mother and father. He comes and teaches you Raj Yoga from beginning the middle of the kingdom. You says to the Father, we sacrifice all the old rubbish to you. You make our precious of 21 births. Stop breaks, make deal with of the take a commission. That one is also says, whatever rubbish you have, I take all of that, including your bodies. Then you are about to die. Here the customer of the Brahmakumars is white. This costume is through your do or death. A cospress of always covering with the white sheet, which is completely without a stain. As this time, everyone has two black mark of the Maya on them. These are called the bad womanies of the Rahu. The moon too have become the dark. Then it is eclipse. So this eclipse of the woman of the Maya also make you whole world dark. All of the elements are also included in that. The Maya sits here and explains this to the your Raj Yoga. Through Raj Yoga, you have to climb your kingdom in heaven. You become kings of kings and you have the intoxication of the becoming nirvana. You change from the ordinary man of Narayana. The kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayana is the golden age, so I definitely have to come at the end. At this time, it is the path of devotion. On the path of devotion, people bow their hands and heads to continue to stumble around from the door to our door. God is the protector of the devotees. He comes and gives you the fruit of devotion. All of you devotees, but not all of them receiving the same fruit. Some receives visions, some have the sun. All of that is temporary. I fulfill all of their various desires. No one on the world knows this. God has come to teach Raj Yoga. They think that He comes on the copper age and taught Raj Yoga at this time. How could you have to become Narayana from the ordinary human here? It is now that the Father teaches you Raj Yoga from make you to kings of kings. Here you just have to remain silent. Manmana Bhav. This is the easy mantra gives you Sadguru that disciplines the mind. There is a lot of innocence through this mantra. This is the mantra with which you control Maya. You become conqueror of Maya and conqueror of the world. Those one in the path of devotion says, when you conqueror of your mind, you are conqueror of the world. This is why there is the Hatha Yoga, etc. However, they don't do that, they become the conqueror of the world. They do is the liberation. The Father becomes says, children, renounce your bodies and all bodies religious. Renounce everything as I belong to such and such a religion. I am so and so. Consider yourself to the souls and consider, remember me alone. That's all. Simply follow the directions that I am giving you. You now have to renounce all the different dictates you have been following up now, so your knowledge is completely new. People think that what you telling them is new. Then you explain children to everyone. First of all, feel their plus. Pulse is you must not say something to everyone. People have to so many different directions. Yours is one direction, but it is number wise. Those who stay the yoga well and you have dharana will definitely explain well. Whose you have to less dharana will explain less. Tell only one simple thing to whoever come to you. Although you may living at home with your family, you have to remain like a lotus. You know that each lotus has many fragrancy to explain example of that. The father too has many children. The lotus flower remains above the water and all of the rest of the progress of the below of the water. This is the good example. Baba says, live at home with your families but remain pure. This is a matter of the purity. In this, remain pure is the final birth, and you also constantly remember me alone. You definitely also have the sustain your creation. Otherwise, this world become like Hatha Yoga. Many people in the world remain pure. Someone who has celebrated from the birth is the Bhishma Pitama. A good example of the celibacy is when the husband wife is living together when remain pure. Pure marriage is ever mentioned in the scriptures, but no one knows about this. The father explains this. The father says, children, now instead of sitting on the pyre of lust, both of you have the tight bond of the sitting on the pyre of knowledge. The Brahmins are doing such a good work. You have to promise to remain pure. By questioning one another, both of you will go to heaven. Here, your demonstration how you remain pure while living together, and this is how you can climb a very high status. Your example could be given. You sit on the pyre of the knowledge and climb a high status in heaven. A lot of courage is required for this. If you continue to move along with very fairly, your status will be very high. Then it depends on the service you do. Those who do a lot of service and create subjects will climb a good status. You should even higher than the Baba and Maya. However, just as Baba says that if both Christians and Russians and Americans were unite, they could become the masters of the world. In the same way, such a couple should emerge who go higher than the mother and father. However, there doesn't have anyone like this. Only Jagadamba and Jagat Pita are well known. No one could be able to do service like they do. They have become the instruments. This is why you should never have heart failure in this. Okay, if you are not like Mama and Baba, you can become the second number. Everything depends on the service you do. You have to create subjects and hires, so everything of ours is new. The Father definitely has to come here and create a new world. He alone is the creator. Those people have the gods behind the name of the form, But he is not like that. They cannot do blamed. Only if it is their fortune of their understood. Many come and who think that it is right. Some says that soul doesn't have the name or form. So what is that completely called a soul? There is the name soul. They called everyone that Raj Yoga is teaches the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul comes at the confluence age. It could definitely to the confluence age that he teaches Raj Yoga because only he can make impure ones to pure. So the things of there is unique. The Father says, simply consider yourself to be souls. You have to go to the Father. There is no need to asking any questions about this. They says, do not hurt any soul. My soul, this one is the simple souls and this one is pure soul. No one should say that souls has no form. When Vivekananda has sitting in front of Ramakrishna, he has vision. He saw the light entered him. They say something like that. Tell them ours is Raj Yoga. Here you have to forget your bodies and all bodily friends and relations, etc. We souls are his children and themselves the brotherly food. If everyone were to become the Father could have the prayer to the Father. We are now sitting Raj Yoga. This is yoga of the becoming the kings of kings. There are no kingdom here. And so you have to explain. We say, stay in silence and simply remember Shiv Baba. We constantly ourselves to be separate from our bodies. Souls. Soul says, I spring the body and take another. So the samskaras of this knowledge remain in the soul. Good and bad samskaras are in each soul. No soul is immune to the effect of action. This has to be explained. Souls take rebirth. A soul has to take organs repeatedly. A soul is a star. It resides in the center of the forehead. When they have a vision of souls, they believe that you have such a power in you and you able to be have the vision of the soul. However, what does it matters whether you have the vision or not? The soul himself says, I am a star. I have the part of 84 paths in me. If soul were to take 8.4 million births, they could have so many samskaras that you don't know that what happened now. You can believe that the soul takes 84 births. You cannot believe that anyone could take 8.4 million births. We are now becoming pure. Baba had made us pure in order to change us from the ordinary human into Narayan. You should have a great intoxication. You don't need to debate on with anyone. Renounce your bodies and all religious of the bodies and consider yourself to be bodiless souls. Although we have studied the scriptures and etc., why should we discuss them? Since the Father has said constantly remember me alone. His second order is while living at homes with your families remains as pure as lotus. Only in the fire of the yoga will your sins will be burnt away. God speaks. God is the supreme soul. He too is called a star. There are many points, but they cannot be all brought up at this time. You have to see in the personally of the person of in front of you and take up everything tactically. Tell them who also study the scriptures, but the Father all ordered us to forget them all and to constantly remember Him alone. He is incorporeal. Everyone believes in souls. Even those who believe the Vivekananda will believe in souls. Everyone has a soul. Therefore, soul could surely have to the Father who is called the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. All of these are points. By tuning these, you will constantly find new points. The steamer will continue to be filled. There are like a goods and of the imperishable jewel of knowledge. Note down the points and then revise them. These are jewels. You should have to keen interested in imbibe them and writing about them. Explain to everyone very clearly. There is a soul in everyone, but doesn't have the physical name or form. You cannot ask this since the soul has the form. Why should the God have the form? The God doesn't have form. He is called the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is the one who resides in the Supreme Abode. So much of to explain you children. So now demonstrating this by doing service. Baba gives a prize according to the service you do. He enables you to decorate with so many jewels of knowledge. We cannot want to become the multimillionaire here. We want to sovereignty of the world. Acha, to the sweetest beloved long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual Baba. Essence for Dharana. First point. Tune the ocean of the knowledge and imbibe the jewel of knowledge that you receive. Remain constantly full of jewel of knowledge. Second point. Stay in the intoxication of the becoming Narayana. Don't speak of the unless matters of anyone. Practice become bodiless. Blessings. May you be constantly contented soul and remain free from any illnesses in your body or mind with the blessing and medicine. Even if your body is the someone having not well and you don't tell your mind become the disturbed by many illnesses of the body. Constantly continue to dance in happiness and your body will be the fire. Make your body work with the happiness in your mind and you will exercise both. Happiness is your blessing and the exercise your medicine. So with both of the blessing and medicine, you become free from any illnesses in your body or mind. In this happiness, you will forget your pain in order to be constantly content and your body and mind. Do not think too much. By thinking too much, time is wasted and your happiness will be disappeared. Slogan. Practice seeing the essence in expansion and your state will always become constantly stable. Om Shanti. Sweetest elevated versions of the Mateswari. Only God knows His ways and means of the granting salvation. Only you know your way of meaning. In those memory is this praise sung. This is because the way of the God grants salvation to only known by God. Human beings cannot know this. People only desire happiness. By how can they receive that happiness? Until people burn their five vices and make their actions neutral, they cannot receive that happiness. The philosophy of action, neutral actions and sinful actions is very deep. No human beings, only God can know the result of this. Until God tells us these results, human beings cannot receive liberations in life. This is why people says, only you know your way and meaning. God has the ways of the meaning of the granting salvation in this one. It is the duty of the God and give us the teachings of how to make actions neutral. Human beings do not have this knowledge and because of this, they continue to perform wrong actions. The first duty of the human being is reform their actions, for only then will they be able to take the full benefits of the human life. Acha, Om Shanti.